I do want to talk about opioids and the opioid crisis because, to some degree, it's a very important issue. It's been swept aside by tax reform and the state of the economy. Jim Renacci, to you first. You've got a bill before Congress trying to deal with the opioid crisis. What are you doing? What's the solution, but how are you dealing with this?
Well, my friend from North Carolina and I are co-sponsoring a bill that actually pauses things, puts some reforms in when it comes to prescriptions. Let's face it, 80% of heroin addicts end up getting there starting with opioids. We got to make sure that the prescriptions, we have some kind of a standard that starts there, but also it does some other things. It starts to look at how we got here. Let's look at our policies that put us in this place, and then let's also look at policies going forward. Maybe the 7-day prescription is not the answer. It asks the FDA to start looking at other things that could be done. So it's a broad solution to a problem. Let's face it, Ohio, #1 state for opioid overdose and addiction.
Yeah, a terrible story. Mark Meadows, is there any provision in this legislation for paying for getting people off opioids?
You know, we haven't concentrated as much on that. Obviously, that is one component of the overall legislation that we're looking at. One of the things that Jim was talking about is that prescription for those first-time opioid users. We actually work with physicians. What we don't want to do is take their ability to prescribe out of their hands. We want to make sure that it's between a doctor and a patient. And yet, at the same time, using the GAO, FDA, and maybe even going beyond to look at reimbursement for some other types of pain relievers that perhaps are not covered under Obamacare and Medicare and Medicaid. And so Jim has been very thoughtful in this. We know that we have to act now. It's not only the president that has put this as an epidemic, but it's our communities as well. And so I'm optimistic if we can move this through, it'll be a good first step in trying to address this crisis.